Good morning, everyone. This is a little video we made for our partners and participants, LPs in the fund, to introduce François-Xavier Fanard, FX for the friends, which is our new managing director for the Benelux region. We're very pleased to welcome you today. Wow, this week it's been a hard training week.
And a great week.
Great, yeah. And we wanted for you to tell us a bit how did you came first to this ecosystem, because you have a lot of experience in the startup and in scale-up world in the Benelux. But what was your process? You know, your studies brought you to it, or your professional experience? I think it's a very interesting one. Could you maybe briefly tell our partners how you came to that?
Sure. Well, in fact, I always had a deep passion for tech, and this brought me to start engineering studies. I had the chance there and the fun to build a robot, so that was really a great experience. But at the same time, because of my environment, my family, I was also interested in finance. And so when I got graduated, I started to use my research, because I was at a research lab, to try to predict stock market, for example. So I always tried to combine these passions about and curiosity for tech on one side and finance on the other side. And then at one point I decided to go and work for the private company that is now since then has been acquired, but back in the time was a fintech. But you know, back in 2005, 2006, nobody talked about fintech. And it was really interesting. We used to develop software for banks, and then afterwards I was leading teams to develop software for tier one banks. But still I wanted to know a bit more, you know, could I replicate this company myself? Could I create my own business? Could I stay in that field of finance? I had friends and ex-colleagues that asked me, do you want to start a startup? And back in the time was not that common, especially in Belgium. And so instead of starting a startups, I did the other thing that most people do when they get to the 30s. I took an MBA. So I took an MBA at Solvay that you probably, most probably know.
It's an excellent school.
Sure.
Actually, I don't know if I told you, I studied at the ULB, Université Libre de Bruxelles, but in the first couple of years, we have half of our lessons together with the Solvay Business Engineering. Is the most reputed business school in Belgium.
Exactly. Many leaders, not only in Belgium, but also in Europe and also globally, are coming from that school. So really great school. I had a lot of fun, 1 year of hard work in the MBA based mainly on strategy and finance. Learned a lot. And from there, I had two choices. I'm starting my own company, or I still dig a bit more into the finance world, which I decided to do at Ernst & Young. Funny story is that over there, most of the colleagues were Dutch speaking. As you can hear, I'm French speaking. And because most of them had difficulties with French, I would end up, you know, doing a lot of assignments. Even though my specialty was valorization, valuation, and business modeling, I ended up doing assignments in M&A, due diligence. So it was really great learning, great school. But then at that moment, I thought, you know, I should maybe start my startup. So I did that twice. I learned a lot. Understand I failed twice. And it was really interesting. And it's at that moment, and pretty surprisingly, some other founders, early stage founders, came to me and say, Fix, can you help us? Can you advise us on our startups, on our endeavors, and so on? And I was a bit surprised, you know, I'm like, I'm not the guy, you know, I didn't do any exit, you know, I'm not a successful guy. But it seems like, you know, they like the fact that I'd like already built some kind of skill set. And so I would start, in fact, helping them, challenging them. That was the help, not helping them operationally, but challenging them, asking them the right question, trying to see what was the best path they could take. And those people really like it. One thing brought the other one. I ended up helping them with the strategy, but I ended up fundraising for them, obviously, because that's one of the pain. And because of that, I got approached by EIT Digital. I guess you know.
Yeah, it's the European Commission-backed body. I think they're doing a magnificent job. I've talked with them, obviously. a lot.
Indeed. I think what was pretty interesting, I was on my own. I started my own company of consultancy to support those founders and to have them fundraise, but also to position themselves in terms of business management and strategy. But there, I got into an organization that was present in most of the countries in Europe, which I found really interesting. And what was also really interesting, and I guess we'll come back on that one too, thinking of Farad, was that we were providing two main services. And I think two main services that are vital for those companies, meaning one being fundraising, so access to capital, and second, growing the sales, so the commercial approach, access to market. And
especially if you're deep tech or very technologically oriented, sometimes it's difficult for making them have this commercial mindset, no?
Sure. Those people know that they have, most of the time, a really good technology. They've got a first traction, but most of the time they're not really salespeople, and they don't really know how to raise money, even though they might have raised money with some angels or family and friends, I won't say fools, but still they need a lot of support. So basically there I was appointed as the manager for the Benelux region. I moved each week to the Netherlands to prospect, to try to convince really high potential scale-ups to join our program and to have them fundraise. It was great because you have such an impact. You discuss about the business, you try to redraft the material with them, the business plan, you discuss all aspects of the business, and then you end up raising funds, and that is really great. You're happy for the founders, they can get to the next stage, you're happy for the investors, you're happy for yourself, and most of the time those founders, those CEOs would say like, Fix, why don't you join us? And I was like, it's interesting, thank you for saying that. This is really great because you achieved the fundraising, but also personally it means like you've done a good job and they see yourself as a driver for the next growth. Most of the time, all the time, I refused until I supported Cloudlice, a great company. Cloudlice. Great company. I have the CEO to fundraise 5 million with one of the best deep tech investor in the world, Horizons Ventures. But yeah, we worked for 1 year together. He tried since day one to get me on board because he really liked the approach of scanning the whole business, trying to understand what are the drivers, what are the risks, how can we mitigate them, how can we position the company for a successful growth. So in that sense, there was a fit. I could feel I could add value there. So I joined them first as a CFO, but as you know, I started structured the company. I got in charge of sales, marketing, operations, too many things at the same time. And one of the main achievements was to triple the sales the first year, and that was really great. But still, in the back of my head, I was still really eager to join the investment world because all this time I kept supporting other investors. I invested in some startups, and I really liked the fact of investing in a company. You're bridging many things. You're bridging the business aspect, the technology, but also the financial sides of things. So having been on different sides of the table, I thought like now I have to move to the right side of the table. I've got this experience, I've got this drive, I've got this network, I understand what's going on, and that's where we met.
Actually, we believe you have an amazing experience because it's for us in venture capital, as you know, you need various skills. You need to be technical, you need to be able to go through the numbers to understand them, but also to be able to translate your passion and your fears to the other entrepreneurs and stuff. And you have a very varied background, which I believe. So why did you choose us? Why did you want to join us? And how do you think Farad can help add value in the Benelux region in particular?
Sure, that's a great question. In fact, I think in Belgium, but also in the Netherlands, I mean, we small countries. But we are well educated. I mean, education is really, really of quality in those regions. We also multicultural. We've got a lot of people coming from abroad. Brussels is the capital of
I grew
Europe.
up there.
You grew up there, you know that,
Yeah.
and this adds a lot of value. And also due to the fact that we speaking languages that won't get us really far in today's world, meaning like most of the people, and pardon me for this, but Dutch people, they won't get far with the Dutch. So basically, and also the fact that the market is so limited, we directly have to think big and go
global
international.
mindset from day one.
And despite that, despite all these bright minds, we didn't have that many startups, 10 years ago. Now it's evolving, the infrastructure has really developed because of recent happenings. But you know what's interesting? I think the timing is right because people back in the time, bright mind, great studies, they would directly go to big enterprise. But nowadays, those young people, they don't want to do that. They want to create their own company. They want to make their own impact on the world. They want to bring their ideas to the world. They want to make a success. And that's really interesting. And the fact that Farad is helping early stage companies, I think it's already obviously a great match. That's one. Second one, the fact that Farad is pan-European. Many investors are pan-European, but they have maybe one office in Europe and that's it. While here we have clubs and we helping you to create clubs all over Europe, being local, but also pan-European, offering great opportunities to our partners. And I think this is very, very, very interesting. But that's the big picture. Now, if we look to Faraday, it's like something that really got my attention was, in fact, the structural approach, the quality of the deals made, and obviously it speaks by itself, the track record that you managed to get. And last but not least, and I know this has nothing with investment, but that's something that was confirmed this week. At Faraday, I think we tend to create value for our partners, for the team, for everybody, but with respect for everybody. And I think we kind of align on the values. We want to make an impact, but we want to help everybody and make value for everybody with the right values.
We really believe, and I see that you as well, we really believe in what we do, in the impact that we have, which is just a proxy of the value that founders more than us generate for their investors, for partners. And actually, I believe our partners obviously are going to be delighted to have access to these two marvelous ecosystems. But our partners are themselves a gold mine for our deployment. So I really believe that this structure, with partners from your background in Belgium, in Spain, and in Germany, will really be able to help these companies, and by the way, helping themselves.
Yep.
As you say, that one of the most important parts of a business is selling. We need to sell. You may have the best product ever, but you need to go there and sell. And some products, especially the deep tech or with a strong technological component in its understanding, need to have a particular seller. And our partners have helped us a lot. And with this communicating investor structure across Europe, it may be, really differential for our startups and therefore our partners. So please continue helping us. Thanks a lot for all these years of trust. Now we have another strong piece in the puzzle who is going to come with a lot of new partners such as you in Belgium.
So really eager to create some value, additional value with the opening of the Benelux, not only Belgium but also the Netherlands obviously, and Luxembourg, which is also becoming a very good place. But first of all, thank you, Gonzalo, for your trust. I think you've done a very good job in those past 10 years to create, as an entrepreneur, this fund. Thanks for bringing up really smart people in the team. I've experienced that this week. And most of all, thank you to all the partners, past, current, future, that have helped Faraday to grow. So I count on you as well, and your passion for not only investment but also for entrepreneurs to help us get to the next stage and grow a little bit more and get you the best opportunities from those different clubs. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We're really excited with your joining. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, actually. You received that on Friday. Bye.
Bye.